guys, how are you doing today? I hope everybody's still well and safe. And I hope if you're not well or safe, I pray that you will be in the future. Or that everything is being handled the way that it needs to be handled. I know that sounds so what I'm trying to say is I hope everybody's okay. There's a hair on my face. This is a great start to this video. Mumbling over words, mumbling over greetings, stuff on my face. You know, I'm not feeling great today, so this is a cap on a great day, you know? But nothing makes me better than reading, drinking tea, hanging out with people. I am not going to be drinking tea today. Look, I love my cat, but she somehow manages to get her cat hairs up my nose. I think I'm good for now. Wow. Okay. So, a while ago, my mom gave me a bag of books that she recommended that I read, and the first one that I read out of that pile, first or second, I think the first one that I started was Good Omens, but I think this is the first one that I finished, was The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland in a Ship of Her Own Making. It's really long on the spine. This is the first in 4. We have, first in 3. A Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland. Then we have The Girl Who Fell Beneath Fairyland and led the rebels there. And then we have The Girl Who Soared Over Fairyland and Cut the Moon in 2. Book of 3. Shown on the back. So this is think Alice in Wonderland meets Wizard of Oz. It's a book that doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. It's just kind of a I don't want to say directionless, because there is a direction. September, who is the main character, is supposed to go to Pandemonium to the Marquis, and I think it's the Marquis, might be the Marchioness, and return her spoon. That's a direction. I have no idea what any of that means, but it's a direction, right? And along the way, she encounters all of these troubles, trials, and tribulations. Good song by Valerie June, by the way. And it did nothing feels like it makes a whole lot of sense, right? But then we have to remember that we're in Fairyland, and kind of like Oz or kind of like Wonderland, nothing seems to make a whole lot of sense about what's going on. So let me read the back to you. The signpost before her now was made of pale, wind-bleached wood and towered above her. On the easterly arm, someone had carved in deep, elegant letters, "To lose your way." On the northerly arm, pointing up to the tops of the cliffs, it said, "To lose your life." On the southerly arm, pointing out to sea, it said, "To lose your mind." And on the westerly arm, pointing up to a little headland and a dwindling of the golden beach, it said, "To lose your heart." September is a girl who longs for adventure. When she is invited to Fairyland by a green wind and a leopard, well, of course she accepts. Wouldn't you? But Fairyland is in turmoil, and it will take one 12-year-old girl, a book-loving dragon, and a strange and almost human boy named Saturday to vanquish an evil Marquis and restore order. I'm pretty sure that is Marquis. It looks like Marquis. I don't know. Marquess? Not since Oz has there been a land or a cast of characters so rich and entrancing. So, we see September. September is called a hasting? A hasting child? So there's no chapter of table of contents. But I think September's called a hasting. Hasting girl? Which means that she chooses to come to Fairyland of her own choice. Which means that she can kind of move between the worlds as she chooses. She's not confined there by a timer. And that becomes important later in the book. And that is revealed during that part. Her father is in the war, and her mother is a mechanic. So she's kind of by herself all of the time. The Green Wind and a leopard pick her up, take her to Fairyland, get her through the process of all of her paperwork, where she meets a Wyverly, where the Wyverly is a dragon. So that's what we see here. I don't think he has a name. Wyvern. A through L. She calls him A through L because the Waverly grew up in a library with his brothers and sisters, and he devoured an encyclopedia, learned an encyclopedia, and so he knows the words A through L. And then she rescues a boy called September, who is a water child, in Pandemonium, and so Saturday joins their troop. What is Pandemonium? So Pandemonium is the capital of Fairyland. It's said that there was once a good Queen Mallow who was good and gracious and did lots of good things for the town, the city, the country, and had children, and was just lovely. But then she disappeared, and then the Marquis came to her place, and now everything is not good. And so September is well, this is not cool. Along the way, she encounters a witch, a warlock, and a werewolf. And one of them says the witch stole her spoon. And so September, who is the Marquis stole her spoon, September's just well, I'll find it for you. That's not very nice. Not knowing that she's going to encounter this huge, big expedition, this big, huge adventure. Marquis doesn't want September to do this, doesn't want her to get the spoon, doesn't want her to do anything, but is willing to go along with her thinking she's a friend. So you run into all these obstacles. Pandemonium is made of rugs, I think, fabrics. Then we enter autumn, which, beautiful land, I love autumn. But she enters a forest to find the spoon and has a bit of a scary encounter. Remember, she's 12, young girl. Then her friends are taken and she has to find them. So then she sails around Fairyland in a ship of her own making to find them, because where they're located in the jail is on the complete other side of Fairyland. So then she has all these adventures along the way while she's sailing. Gets to rescue her friends, and the Marquis is there. So then they have this encounter, and the book kind of finishes with September back home. And so you wonder, was this ever really a dream? Did she ever actually go? But how do I say this? It's a fun story. It's just a not a no nonsense. It's full of nonsense, but it's a nonsense story that takes itself seriously, which is fun sometimes. Sometimes it's fun to have a book that's just completely ridiculous, telling a really fun story, but telling it purposefully, beautifully, and childishly. And I think that's what so key here is September's a child, and so this book is told from her perspective. This is a short book. I think it's about 300 pages. 247. Oh, ravished. She's a ravished child. Which sounds a little weird, but it just means that she can move between the worlds as she chooses. So this is written by Catherine M. Valente. I'm probably butchering all of that, and I apologize. There's also illustrations in here, but I don't know who does the illustrations. Oh, Anna Juan does the illustrations. And yes, there are illustrations in here. They're done at the beginning of each chapter. So just a little kind of illustration of what the chapter is going to be about. The chapters are not always very long. Some chapters are like a page and a half. Some chapters are like 5 pages. The writing is lovely. It's like a wonderful little mix between Alice in Wonderland and Wizard of Oz. Wizard of Oz is this: I give you a task and I ask that you do it because then I will get you a reward. And Alice in Wonderland is the beautiful nonsense of it. And I also, in the way that September talks to herself a lot, reminds me a lot of how Alice talks to herself in Alice in Wonderland. I think this book does a really cool job. Catherine Valente does a really cool job of presenting ideas and perspectives on things about like the human spirit that are beautiful. So there's a part in the book where September has to get scrubbed completely clean before she can enter Pandemonium, and she has to wash in 3 different buckets, and one of the buckets cleans her courage so that she'll be right, proper, courageous. Another bucket cleans something else non-physical, and a third bucket does another thing entirely. And that idea of clean your courage was really cool because my courage could use some cleaning. It's a book about a child, but it's a mature book about a child because the way that she looks at the world is very mature, and how she feels obligated to help take care of everybody that is important to her. And in the way that she interacts with the Marquis towards the end of the book, where the Marquis is being ridiculously mean and not very nice and sneaky, and September is still doing her very best to be. Cat hairs are all over the place. I don't know where she is at this point. Hey, woman. I think she's sleeping. Oh, there's another one. Oh, lordy. Yeah. September just does her best to be very mature and take care of the people that she loves and make the right decisions and not hurt anybody and what have you. Ooh, why is that hard? I think that blanket needs glued. Right. I love that. So I totally recommend this book if you liked The Wizard of Oz, or if you liked Alice in Wonderland, or if you like both. 100% recommend. Fun story, easily could get through in a day if you had the time. I mean, we're all quarantined right now. We all have the time. And yeah, I think the end of the book was really cool. The end of the book, as she's sailing around the island, reminded me a little bit of the ending of Series of Unfortunate Events, which I thought was really cool. So, yeah. She also, so Catherine writes several other books as well. Yeah, it's a fun story. I recommend. Took me a while to get into it, and once I did, it was a sweet little treat. So, all my standard book questions: have you read it? Did you like it? Also, I'm always posting books I'm actively reading on Instagram. You can check that out down below. The link is there. I also have a blog that you can follow, which will be linked down below. I'm also working on a review blog. I most recently, reviewed the Zac Efron show about Ted Bundy, Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Cruel. Also in conjunction with the Ted Bundy tapes, A Conversation with the Killer. That's down there as well, and my ASMR channel is linked below. You can find me in all these places. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you later. Bye.